Hello, everyone. We will be starting with the session in 1 minute. So, hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the technical session 6B. Myself, Anshika Jain, and this session would be moderated by me. I, on the behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 10th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology, ICICT 2025, London, UK. The 10th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held yesterday in London, UK, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom from 19 to 21st February 2025. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we will have 6 presentations, and each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentations and 3 minutes for the questions and answers. On 10 minutes, I will raise a very gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or any update, then you can write it to me in the chat box below. Just before we get started with the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session, Dr. Ezekiel Ozur Okik. Sir is currently a Surveyor Lecturer and Cluster Chair of Information Systems, Cluster, Department of Computer Science, University of Botswana. His research interests arise in software quality, models and architectures, software measurements, information systems, software engineering, machine learning, information security, cybersecurity, and e-systems. Welcome to the session, sir. Would you like to share a quick opening remark with us?
Yeah, I just welcome everyone to the conference, and we do hope to have a very interesting meeting together. I wish all the presenters the best of luck as they make their presentations. Mine is to guide, and if there is need for possible suggestions, I will give such remarks. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So,
Right.
we also have Dr. Beetan Mishra, and ma'am is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Techno Informational Newtown, Kolkata, West Bengal, India. She has served as reviewer in many peer-reviewed journals and conferences. Her main research interest lies in optimization techniques, deep learning, evolutionary algorithms, and soft computing techniques. She has worked as a reviewer on several national and international journals and conferences. Welcome to the session, ma'am. Would you like to share a quick opening remark with us?
Thank you so much, Anshika, for your kind introduction. And I welcome all the participants to this ICICT 2025. I hope it will be a very interactive and informative session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. We'll be starting with the papers. First, we have Eiter to present the paper titled Computing Political Power, the Case of the Spanish Parliament. Are you there? Are you there? I guess you're here. Yeah, we cannot listen to you. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Is he there? I think it's muted.
Yeah. He's there.
I was having some problems with the microphone.
It's okay. You may please begin with your presentation now.
Yeah, okay. Give me a moment. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
Okay, let me here. Okay, you can see it, right?
Yeah, right. You may please begin.
Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Aitor Godoy, and together with my colleagues Fernando Rubio and Ismael Rodriguez, we made this paper, Computing Political Power, the Case of the Spanish Parliament. So the main idea behind this paper is another paper that we made before. And in that paper, we defined a problem which consists in, after doing an election and having and each political party have a certain number of seats assigned, we want for any political party, we want to know in how many absolute majorities they can be. So we proved that this problem was really hard to compute, and we developed a pseudo polynomial algorithm to solve it. And also, for instance, where the input can be quite large, we also developed another algorithm which is based on random sampling. So sometimes, really, maybe computing in how many absolute majorities isn't really giving a lot of information to us. So instead of using that for this paper, we used power indexes. So we decided to use the raw Banzhaf power index and the Banzhaf-Coleman index. And these index are based on the concept of a pivotal party. So the idea of a pivotal party basically is when you form a coalition, as you can see in the pie chart, P1 plus P2 plus MP form an absolute majority. And if you take P1 out of that coalition, then the resulting coalition wouldn't be an absolute majority. So P1 is a pivotal party. So basically, this index, the raw Banzhaf index, just calculates the number of times a party can be pivotal in any coalition. And the Banzhaf-Coleman index is just a normalization of this index. Basically, the raw Banzhaf index of that party divided by the sum of all the index of the other parties. So the Banzhaf-Coleman index would be between 0 and 1. Now, to talk a bit about the experiment that we wanted to do in this paper, first, I want to introduce you a bit to the Spanish Parliament. So first of all, the Spanish Parliament is divided in 350 seats. And to distribute these seats, the people vote in 50 provinces and 2 autonomous cities. And one important thing to note about the system is that even really a small province, even if they have 30,000 inhabitants, they have a minimum of 2 seats, with the exception of the 2 autonomous cities that have 1 seat each. Now, in Spain, there is a really strong belief that some small parties that only run in certain province or circumscriptions are really benefited by the system. So that was the main motivation to do this paper, to check if those things are really true. So if we go with the experiment, we calculated the Banzhaf-Coleman index for both the votes that each party receives and the seats that each party receives. The idea is that we want to see if the electoral system of Spain is fair in the sense of, hey, when you get more votes, you should get more power. In the end, the power doesn't matter. The votes that a party get doesn't really matter when they vote. The only thing that matter are seats. So we want to see if the votes can translate, the power that you would get with the votes can translate well into the power when you have the seats. So for that, we just divide the ratio that are between both. And if the ratio is greater than 1, that party, we could say that that party is benefited by the system. And when it's less than 1, we can say that is really not benefited by the system. Now, with the results that we got, we made this for all the elections that happens, and we have a democracy, which is 1970. And first of all, one important result that it's easy to see is that if any party gets an absolute majority, they will have a power of 1. and the rest will have 0, there is no way that any other party can be pivotal. And also, if they are really close to an absolute majority, it would greatly disadvantage the rest of the parties. Why is that? Well, there was one election where one party was one seat away of absolute majority. That would mean that if any other party wants to be pivotal, they would need to be with them, and just that party. One party could have 100 seats, and it doesn't matter because another one that have one seat would have the same power, because the only thing needed to pass any law or to get a coalition with absolute majority would be the party that is really close to the absolute majority, and any party. It doesn't matter if it's small or big. Now, with some more results, we saw that the winning party was always favored. That is to be expected. This system is mainly made so that bigger political parties, they don't want to have a lot of political parties, even small ones. So yeah, it's to be expected that it's always favored. And we also saw that the second party was always disadvantaged. And the average ratios that they had were 1.51 and 0.48. So yeah, it was kind of a big difference between that. Then this is one of the results that were the most wanted to check for us, and we saw that against popular relief, regional parties weren't really that much favored. It was interesting because most of the time they are disadvantaged, but when they are favored, they are usually greatly favored. For example, we have PNV, which only got a ratio greater than 1 in 1996. But in that year, the ratio was 7.17, which is huge, like really, really, really big. And another example was CAP, and they obtained a ratio greater than 1 in 6 out of 16 times. But in one of those times, which was 1996, the ratio was 66.25, which again is really, really, really big. Now, another thing that we also wanted to check was that another general belief is that parties that run national, so in every province or circumscription, uh, the minority parties that run there are disadvantaged by the system. And we saw that this was mainly true. And most of the time, they were greatly disadvantaged. But it is true that there were some exceptions, but they were quite minimal. I think we got only 2 of them. And in both cases, the ratios were like 1.1. So it wasn't even that big. Well, with this, we also think it would be interesting to repeat this experiment in any other countries that have similar electoral system that we have here. And well, that's everything. Thank you for listening, and see you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Sir and ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yeah, which algorithm is this that you are using? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sir, we can hear you now.
Yeah, he mentioned an algorithm. What is this algorithm?
We cannot hear you, either.
Oh yeah, sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
this algorithm is based on, the NUXAP algorithm for the pseudo polynomial algorithm for NUXAP. It's similar
Okay.
to that algorithm, but instead of it's basically the subset sum algorithm, but I mean it's really similar to knapsack. The idea is you go checking with how many seats, how many pivotal times are with that concrete seeds, and you are adding in an array the number of times that they are pivotal, and then you end up summing everything. And I don't know, it's a bit difficult to explain, but basically it's a dynamic programming algorithm.
Okay, so is it possible to do the same experiment with the same research with another algorithm?
Yeah, it depends on how many parties the country may have. In Spain, we have lately, especially, we have a lot of parties running for the election. So it's a bit difficult, but you have also like a branch anchored algorithm that if you have maybe 15 or something parties, it can be easier. But in Spain, we had like 40, 50. Most of them are really small, but
yeah, okay.
Yeah, we have this year 20 parties with at least one seat. So yeah, 20 is a bit difficult for a branch and cut algorithm.
Okay, now why I'm asking the question is the work looks sketchy, but you can beef it up by trying the same on other algorithms you think can do the same. And then you try to measure what is called the big O in computer science. Have you heard about the big O measurement? So that you'll be able to say, okay, in this type of research, this is the best algorithm, instead of you focusing on one. So the big O measure is a rough measure of the performance of, if you have a number of algorithms based on the scenario of the kind of work you are trying to do. Then you want to say, if I am doing this kind of research, this is the best algorithm to apply. So it will be very interesting if you can bring in some other 2-3 algorithms that you think can be used to run the same work. And then you try to measure the big O. You can Google the big O in computer science, where you have O to the order of n, O to the order of n squared, or the logarithm. You just Google the big O. It's a measure that tells you which algorithm among a certain number of algorithms is the best for a particular situation. Then it will beef up the work. But it's an interesting work.
Can you repeat the question?
I said the work is interesting, but you should try to beef it up by running the same tests on other algorithms, not just one algorithm. Then you try to measure the big O.
Oh, yeah.
The big O is a measure in computer science that is used to find the performance of certain algorithms on certain scenarios based on their speed, based on their efficiency, and so on and so forth. Just to beef up the work, because it's interesting, but it looks very, very simplistic, the way you have presented it.
Yeah, I mean, it was more of the part of checking with the beliefs and saying more in a political way if the power, the way we measured it, would correspond with the general belief that we have here. But the problem with algorithm, maybe we could develop another algorithms, but I think mainly the branch and cut, you can't really do it. We also have for votes, it can be a bit difficult because the dynamic programming algorithm that it's a polynomial, the big O runs on the number of votes. And I mean,
so what do we do? What you can do in this paper, you will say further research, that it will be good if this work can be tried on these other algorithms, and then measuring the big O. It's called big O in computer science. So to find the best algorithm that best works for a situation like this. If you know the other algorithms, so at the back of your work, this paper, there you said further research can be to try this work on You mentioned the algorithms you think can be used to try this work, and then you add, then they should measure the big O, the big zero, the big O, okay? Yeah. So that they will be able to say which is the best algorithm for this kind of work you are trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Can I ask?
Yeah, sure, Fernando.
Yes, in fact, I am the co-author of ITOR, and I want to answer the previous question, because in fact, we have analyzed the complexity, the computational complexity of the problem, and we have proved that it requires exponential time. But it is not included in this paper, just to give information to the previous answer. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So I guess
Thank you.
there are no responses. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next up, we have Edura Halim to present the paper titled Conceptual Framework for Intelligent Road Safety Assessment for Designers. Are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you may please
Okay.
begin with your presentation.
Okay, I will share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, your screen is visible. You may begin.
Okay. Thank you. Hello everyone. My name is Idura. So I'm from University Technology Malaysia. So today I'll be presenting our paper on conceptual framework for intelligent road safety assessment for designers. All right, so basically this is my presentation outline. So I'll be covering introduction, road safety, infrastructure safety management reason, discussion, and also the conclusion. All right, so for introduction, so basically according to WHO, about 1.19 million road crashes involving fatalities has been reported. So this does not only impose the risk of injury and death, but also high financial implication, such as the repair, the infrastructure, and also the medical costs, as well as it will reduce the road transportation system efficiency level. Right, so the recent Global Plan Decades of Action for Road Safety 2021-2030 by the WHO and United Nations, they have come up with a new approach called Safe System, which acknowledge the mistake by human, and also for any potential road crashes, it shall not result in any serious human injuries. So for this target, for this approach is to reduce the traffic death and injuries
Edura,
by...
can you please mute yourself and unmute it again? There is some kind of noise. Yeah. Can you please?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or is it okay now?
Yeah, better because there was some kind of noise which is coming from.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll continue. Okay, so the target for this approach is to reduce the road traffic death and injuries by at least 50% in 2030. And if you can see on the right hand side, if the 5 main pillars of safe system, and this paper will be covering one of the pillars, which is safe roads and roadsides. Okay, so what is road safety, road infrastructure safety management, or RISM? So actually, it's an analytic tools that help to detect emerging safety problems and to locate the most hazardous part of the road system, as well as to identify the most important factors contribute to road accident. So this is actually aligned with the European Directive 2896 EC, which require the managing of safety of road infrastructure. So on the right hand side is the project life cycle for road or highway projects. So this paper will be covering the planning and design of the roads. Okay, so the first method under RISM for planning and design stage is actually RSA. So RSA, road safety audit, is a proactive assessment to identify hazards and to provide mitigation. So it can be conducted throughout the project life cycle, which is pre-construction, construction, and post-construction. And it should be conducted by a certified road safety auditor. And by doing the RSA, we can actually identify the potential hazard, reduce likelihood of accident, as well as to minimize the cost for corrective measures. So the next tool is actually road safety impact assessment or RSIA. So it's actually a strategic comparative analysis for new roads. And then it should be conducted during the initial planning stage and until throughout the design stage, the final stage of the design stage. And it should be conducted by at least 2 personnel, which involve one experienced designer and one experienced road safety auditor. So by conducting the RSIA, we can actually analyze the alternative of do nothing or do minimum, as well as different alternative and also collision prediction and cost benefit analysis. So the next one is the star rating for design. So it's actually a free web star rating tool where we could provide solution to challenging safety problem with rating system. So it should achieve a 3-star rating or better. And it should be conducted during the pre-construction stage, which is during the preliminary and design stage. And it should be performed by suitable IRAP trained road safety practitioner. So by using this, we can actually provide a viable safety intervention, which actually aligns with the international standards. So the next one is the road safety screening and appraisal tool, RSSAT. So actually this tool is Excel-based tool with a log parameter. So at the end of this what we call it, this method, we can actually produce a metric called project safety impact, which give the ratio of road fatalities with or without the traffic, crash prediction, and also cost benefit analysis. And lastly is the safe system assessment. SSA is actually to identify area with risk of fatal and serious injury. It's actually focusing on this type of injury. So it should be done during the initial design option to adopted design. And it has to be performed by independent qualified practitioner with expertise in safety system. So at the end of the SSA, we can actually give SSA metric with the score of 0 to 4 on the likelihood and exposure of the road accidents. So with all of those methods, we actually conducted a SWOT analysis, as you can see here, where we provide the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for each of these methods. So based on the SWOT analysis conducted, we have actually come up with a conceptual framework of intelligent road safety assessment for designers. So if you can see on the right hand side is actually the proposed framework based on input process output IPO model. So it's actually a proactive approach where designers can implement safety aspect in their design. So this IPO based model is actually resembles the flow of the current road safety assessment where the designers can provide all the data and information as during the input stage. So if you can see here, we can provide alignment model, traffic data, survey data, and any external variable. So based on the data, it will be layered. And during the process, we can have the static or conformance assessment. The next one, the second assessment is the dynamic assessment. So the static assessment is basically to check the guideline compliance, meaning if whatever we provide, our alignment, if it's comply with the current guideline. And then the next one is the dynamic assessment. This is where we propose the use of AI to actually provide the decision making in risk assessment, crash prediction model, traffic flow, also the road safety parameter. So by having this kind of data, it will be processed, and the output from this process, we anticipate that we can come up with first compliant assessment report, which came from the conformance assessment, static assessment, and then the risk assessment and safety report is from the dynamic assessment. So by having this result, it can be verified and validated by the expert. So, and then from this, we can actually finalize our design. So the expected benefit from this conceptual framework is actually first, the road safety elements can be embedded from the early stage. So we can minimize any design stage after the construction, which can actually impose cost and inconvenience to the user. Next, the platform for designers from diverse background, meaning we can actually provide a platform for designers with different background to actually implement safe design in their design, regardless of their working level, skill, level of knowledge. And then is the catalyst to transition to advanced design tool, especially for developing country. It can stimulate designers because at the moment in construction industries, we are heading towards the implementation of BIM. So it's actually value added to this kind of transition. And then the next one is consistent road safety assessment, because by having a human-centric assessment, we can actually address the potential of inconsistent judgment and different design reviewers by providing a more data-driven and evidence-based approach. And last but not least, is actually we can facilitate and improve the present road safety assessment with technology advancement.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you have 2 minutes to conclude your presentation.
Oh, okay, thank you. So by having this, we can actually improve the efficiency, the accuracy with the use of AI. And then actually the limitation of the study, actually it it's exclude the external real world factors such as climatic, lighting, street lighting, and maybe reflectivity on signages, and also the delineators during night time. But I think this one we can actually develop or extend this framework, and this consideration can be factored during operational stage where accidents data comes in. So we have this kind of data to supplement our safety assessment. So in conclusion, so the conceptual framework for ICICT has been developed to facilitate the road designers to provide proactive safety assessment and recommend through static and dynamic assessment. So it actually can help designers with diverse background to actually provide the optimum and best design by including safety aspect. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am and sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it's a good work. So is this a comprehensive framework? I can see you said you have some limits because you didn't include certain factors. So can we say that it's not comprehensive? Is it a pilot, just a pilot study?
Actually, this framework is actually to focus on the design stage, meaning before the road is being constructed, meaning the design is still on paper. So
Okay.
with you know, this kind of external factors such as climate, you know, street lighting, it typically comes after the road has been constructed. So with this kind of factor, we can take into consideration other factors such as the accident data. So we can do this during maybe road safety or road safety inspection during the operational and maintenance stage of the road and highway stage.
Okay, so at the end of this study, you can also have further study or further work where you can make this kind of suggestions as part of it. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
What you have architecture or what outcome you have get from this study, you can apply it to some small data that maybe for the particular country, for a particular state. And if you create that kind of experimental result, that will support your study much more stronger. Okay, you can think it like that for your future work.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So
Okay.
we'll be moving on to the next presentation now. Next, we have Balendra to present the paper titled Continuous Wavelets Transform Based Across Scale Functional Connectivity Metrics for Motor Imagery EEG Classification Utilizing Modified EEG Modulate and LSTM Deep Neural Network. Are you there?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, you may please begin with your presentation.
Okay. My screen is visible.
Yes, your screen is visible. You may begin now.
Hello, everyone. Myself,
Well,
Balendra. I'm currently pursuing my PhD in biomedical engineering and from the Indian Institute of Technology, Varanasi, India. And my research work is related to motor imagery EEG classification. So motor imagery EEG is a electroencephalogram is a non-invasive technique to record the motor activity. And to record the motor activity, we have to place the multiple EEG electrodes on the human skull. And while the motor imagery activity, we have to suggest the subject to imagine a certain motor activity, and simultaneously we have to record the EEG data. So in our study, we have selected this BCI computation 428 dataset for evaluation of our methodology. And in this dataset, we have 22 channels, and this dataset has been recorded with the 250 Hz sampling frequency. And this dataset has 4 classes: left hand movement, right hand movement, foot movement, and tongue movement. And this dataset has already been filtered between 0.5 to 100 Hz band with band pass filter and 50 Hz notch filter. Further, these are some studies on this data set in which different model and methodology has been utilized, and the best accuracy had been achieved, that is 83.73%. And all the models here are big in size, like their size is around uh, around uh, around 10 MB or above 10 MB. So our objective is to design a lightweight methodology which can outperform these earlier studies for the motor imagery EEG classification. So we have implemented our methodology, and in which we have first loaded the EEG data. After that, we have preprocessed our EEG data, in which we have normalized the EEG data. We have bandpass filtered the EEG data. And after that, we have taken the Hilbert transform technique to extract the instantaneous temporal features. After that, we have taken the common spatial pattern technique to maximize the feature distance between the different classes. And after that, we have utilized the continuous wavelet transform for the continuous wavelet transform coefficient for the different scale. And we have arranged all the channels together for the different scale. And further, we have utilized the functional connectivity matrix to calculate the correlation between the EEG channels. And further, we have utilize these functional connectivity matrices to form a feature vector, which we can utilize for the training and testing of our LSTM architecture, which we have proposed. So in our pre-processing, In detail, in our pre-processing, we have bandpass filtered our EG data, segmented our EG data from 2 to 6 second time frame. We have also utilized the baseline correction in our methodology. And finally, we have normalized our EG data for further processing. So in our Hilbert transform method, we have utilized these equations to calculate the different instantaneous temporal features in which instantaneous magnitude, instantaneous phase, instantaneous frequencies are there. So during our evaluation of our methodology, we have taken only one instantaneous temporal feature at a time. After the calculation of the instantaneous temporal features, we have opted for the common spatial pattern to maximize the feature distances between the different classes, utilizing the equation 6 and 7. And further, we have utilized the equation 8 and 9 for the 8 for the continuous wavelet transform. And in our methodology, we have also proposed modified EG modelet, which is the special case of the modelet in which we have multiplied modelet wavelet with a smoothing parameter, which has the implication to reduce the noises and artifacts present in the EG data, to reduce the noises and artifacts present in the EG data for the better classification. And finally, we have utilized the equation 11 for the cross correlation functional connectivity matrix calculation. Further, we have utilized this LSTM architecture for our training and testing of our methodology. And this model has the size of 1.93 MB, which is very less as compared to the earlier studies. Further, we have also calculated the effectiveness of our MEM wavelet for the noise and artifact removal. So in figure 3, as we can see that there is a subplot, in the figure we can see the comparison between the noise and artifact removal of the our MEM wavelet as compared to the bandpass filter signal and independent component analysis filter technique. Further, we have also compared the modelet and MEM wavelet, and in figure 4, as we can see that the modelet and modified EEG modelet both have the unique waveforms, and the time frequency representation of the modelet and MEM wavelet. In case of the MEM wavelet, we have the detailed time frequency representation as compared to the modelet wavelet. So further, we have evaluated our methodology for the different instantaneous temporal features and for the modelet and MEM wavelet. And as we can say in table 2 that in case of the MEM wavelet, our methodology has performed better as compared to the modelet. And in case of the instantaneous magnitude temporal feature, it is performing a mean accuracy of 83.78%, which is very good as compared, to the earlier studies. And we have also cross-validated our methodology by calculating the different performance matrices like accuracy again, and precision, recall, F1 score, and kappa value. And as we can see in table 3 that the results for the 10-fold cross-validation are producing the reliable result. And finally, we have concluded that our MEM wavelet has performed better with the instantaneous magnitude, and it is performing better as compared to the earlier studies. And an average improvement is 1.10 as compared to the earlier studies. And our LSTM architecture with our methodology has the implication to implement for the embedded-based devices for the motor imagery EEG classification. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am and sir, do you have any questions?
Balendra,
Yeah,
you
you
have
get
a very
okay.
fantastic work you have done here. Actually, it will be more better if you compare not only with LSTM, with multiple other deep learning models, then it will be far more better. Okay, that's the suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was going to ask him, how does this relate to the models he showed us at the beginning of the study?
Sir, actually, I'm comparing them with the model size. Like in case of the earlier studies, they are utilizing the CNN transformer architecture and the CNN and BiLSTM architecture. So their size was around 10 MB or above 10 MB. And in our case, our model size is around 1.93 MB, which is very less as compared to them. So they're implementing.
Yes. Yeah, I know that's what you are doing, but I'm not seeing where the comparison, because they are not side by side anywhere in the work.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So, we'll be moving on to the next presentation then. Next, we have Ahmed to present the paper titled Personality Traits in Crowd-Based Requirements Engineering. Are you there?
Yes. You hear me?
Yes, Ahmed. You may please begin with your presentation.
Just a minute to share the screen. Do you see the screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen. You may please begin now.
Okay. It's clear my voice as well?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Welcome to this presentation on personality traits in crowd-based requirement engineering. I am Ahmed Al-Harthi. I'm from Al Qura University in Saudi Arabia. And today we will explore the intersection of personality traits and the crowd-based approaches to requirement engineering. Before I start, my agenda is we will give introductions about the topic and background, and then I will move to the research objectives and questions, and then system design. Before in the presentation, I will propose the machine learning model, and then the future works and the conclusion. So let's begin. Crowdsourcing helps to conduct requirement engineering activities. There is an approach is called crowd RE. This method invites people to participate and share the work among a group of contributors. The task for requirement engineering is elicitations, which is gathering requirement from stakeholders and relevant resources as a document, a legal document, and so on. And then the second activities or task from requirement engineering process is clarifying the problem and resolving conflict and ensuring the solutions meet the project goals and the stakeholders' needs. Specifications is one of the tasks for requirement engineering, which is documenting with writing software requirement specifications, organizing, collecting the requirement in clear format. Validations is another task, which is checking the documented requirement are accurate and complete and aligned with the project's goal. And we have also the management for requirement engineering to track the requirement, managing related document through the project life cycle. Crowd-based, one of the method which is include the requester as a person or client organizations ask for help through crowdsourcing platform to conduct one of those activities of requirement engineering. And the crowd as a group of different, as we see, is a group of different participants who complete to provide the best solution, often motivated by rewards or money. Task the task they conducted or they do it is the requirement activities that can be simple or complex, such as prioritizing requirement, extracting requirement manually. And the platform, this is one most important part, the software manage the course, the crowdsourcing process, including from sign up, task assignment, payment distribution, and so on. Crowd requirement or crowdsourcing method for requirement engineering has several benefits. It brings different viewpoints, helping to reduce the cost and speed up the development time. However, one major challenge is that participants may inaccurately report their qualifications and skills in requirement engineering in sake of just to get the money from the system, from people. The research gap, many qualifications method depends on self-reported skills, which can lead inaccurate in assigning someone true abilities. The influence of personality traits in how well someone perform task is a key factor that is often overlooked. We need a more human-centered approach to a task assignment that consider both skills and personality traits to improve performance and teamwork. No study shows specifically explored how personality traits affect individual performance and behavior in crowdsourcing-based requirement engineering. There are several model for personality testing or assessment to analyze the personal traits. We have like big 5 personality traits. We have this model effectively evaluate individual based on openness, consistency, and extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Also, there is 16 personality factors, and one of the most popular one is the International Personality Item Pool, which is used for this study. The reason is because it's designed in most popular personality traits, such as the big 5 traits. And also, this is offering continuous assessment, the International Personality Item Pool, which is, we will say it IPIP. Also, this is open source and user friendly, and it has different languages. The dimensions of IPIP measures personality traits using 5 main dimensions. The first dimension is the openness. This traits shows how curious the person, or creative and open persons to a new experience. Conscientiousness, this indicates how self-disciplined or organized this person or reliable tend to be. Extravergence, this dimensions is about describing how sociable and this person. Agreeableness, this reflects a person's cooperative, generosity, and trust worth. The last dimensions is neuroticism. This measures how easily a person feels stressed or emotional, also called emotional stability. So this is like the 5 ingredients of each person. Some of them, they are in the right, open, or they are left, they are closed, not open. Same for each of these dimensions. The importance of personality traits helps decision-making, creativity, and teamwork, helping us to understand individual and group behavior. And explaining how people think and act also can predict success in requirement engineering tasks. For example, open individuals, they are excellent in gathering and analyzing information, while organized people do well in writing specifications and managing the project. Understanding these traits can help identify potential leaders and effective team member for the project development. The study object is we want to understand how personality traits affect requirement engineering activities. This knowledge will help us assigning tasks based on the individual strengths. We will also create a machine learning model to improve task assignments in crowd requirement engineering environment. The research question was, what empirical evidence support the relation between personality traits and requirement engineering activities, including the elicitations, the validations, and the writing the documentations, software requirement specifications, and the management? And how can personality data be leveraged to automated task allocations or assignment in crowd requirement engineering? The empirical study looks how participant personality traits affect their involvement in requirement engineering activities. This information is used to assign crowd requirement engineering task to the right participant. The questionnaires has two parts. It's which one is the first part is the test for personality traits, including 50 items. This is the short version because there is another long version which is around between 200 to 300 items. But it's to give you more details.
Sorry to interrupt you. You have 2 minutes to conclude your presentation.
Okay. The second part is 10 questions on requirement activities. It's a web-based and anonymous participant. I will move from the data collections. I will move to the proposed machine learning. We have the purpose is use the machine learning models use personality insight to automate task assignment phase. We have two phases: building phase and operations phase. The first phase is calculating the connections between personality traits and how well participants perform requirement engineering. And then we have a data set. We divide it to 80%, 20%, and then we validate the data using the 20%, and we repeat overall the building phase. In the operation phase, the crowd have to do the personality traits test when they are registering, and then requester post the task. The machine learning model assigning task based on the participant personality, and then participant receive notifications about available task. Participants submit the result, and then evaluation for the result, the outcome. And this helps us to continuous optimization of the machine learning model. The advantage machine learning models task to matches task to people better by using personality profile. Recognize participants' personality traits helps enhance the quality of requirement engineering. Also reliability. Machine learning uses personality assessments to evaluate skills in requirement engineering tasks instead of relying on possible misleading self-reported data. The machine learning model continually updated itself based on performance evaluations. Also, it keeps personality traits confidential during the requirement and task assignment to prevent misuse by employees. Tasks sent to appropriate crowds without sharing personality information, ensuring confidentiality. This work is help us to improve requirement engineering outcome through effective task allocations and collaborate technology for individual. In future work, collaborate this more software engineer roles. This is to the end of my presentation about personality traits in crowd-based requirement engineering. We talk about the crowdsourcing personality traits, and we talk about the empirical study design, and then propose the machine learning model, which including two parts, which is the building phase and the operation phase. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Sir and ma'am, do you have any questions?
Okay.
I do not have any.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, it's an interesting study. Mr. Ahmed, Dr. Ahmed.
Yes.
I just want to know how is the crowd-based requirement different from a project team?
Sorry, again, can you repeat the question?
A project team in software
Yes.
engineering,
Yes.
how is the crowd idea different from a project team?
They are different because they are the one who collecting the data, the analyzing it, while in the project team, they are part of the project team, okay? We have, like, in the project team, we will have analyst, business analyst, we will have designer, we will have developer, we will have tester, we will have also managers, and also for the requirement engineer specifically, they are the one meeting the stakeholder, the client, and analyzing those documents, legal documents, for example. For example, in Saudi Arabia, there is the privacy is different from UK and is different from other countries. They have to analyze it in this stage of requirement phase. So it's different.
So the crowd, what is the crowd doing?
For the
you
crowd,
said the crowd is different from the project team. Which one is higher? Which one is bigger?
No,
which one is a subset or a superset?
The crowding, the source crowding, you hire someone outside the team to do your job. For example, for prioritizing those requirements.
Okay.
So it's like outsourcing, but it's a system collecting all those people, and you just put the task, and this I want this task to be done.
Okay. One more question.
Go ahead.
How is the IPIP personality trait measure different from the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs type indicator?
Okay, the MBIT is
MBTI.
Yes, MBTI. It has based on 4 categories. Okay. So dividing people to the 4 classifications. While here
we give you the 16. Okay.
Yes, those is based on the 4.
Okay.
4 classifications give us 16 personality
16.
Yes,
all right.
Only those 16. While in this IBIB, there is no classifications between people. There are high, low in different dimensions. So there is no clear, like a clear line for each personality.
So if you repeat this study with the MBTI, is it possible to check which one is better? Because I have done two.
They did it in the psychological. Why I'm not with the requirement. They compare those 2 studies, and the IPIP is more accurate than to put like we say this is the number 1 personality, 2, 3, 4 till 16. While in the IPIP we have different types. Maybe they are more open and they are more less emotional. Or we will have open and more emotional. We will have like different personality, not exact.
Okay. All right. It's all right. Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation then. Next up, we have Yusuf to present the paper titled Smart Document Management, Harnessing Azure OpenAI's Generative AI Chatbot to Boost Enterprise Efficiency. Are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, you may please begin with your presentation.
Someone else is sharing, I think.
You can share your screen now.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can see your screen. You may please begin now.
So, hello everyone. Sorry, just a
Hello.
second. I'm not seeing my screen. It's loading. Just a second. Yeah. Is this, could you see it right now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, thank you. So hello everyone, I present myself. I am Youssef Baklouti, AI and research engineer, and today we are going to discover our research paper, which is entitled Smart Document Management, Harnessing Azure OpenAI's Generative AI Chatbots to Boost the Enterprise Efficiency. This paper was made alongside with Mr. Tariq Al-Shirqawi and Mrs. Ines Abdeljawad Tej in the Higher School of Statistics and Data Science in Tunisia and the company Allied in Germany. In our plan, we will begin with the research summary, concept foundation of our paper, the solution implementation. In the fourth part, we will evaluate our solution, and finally, we will go through some conclusions. Our research summary include multiple challenges like the existing AI tools, they risk hallucinations, the inaccuracy when it comes to rising document complexity and high volume of data. So our solution here is to enhance and to provide this challenge with the retrieval augmented generation or the RAG system and advanced NLP frameworks for precise retrieval, summarization, and error-resistant analysis. Our development process, it was built via objective settings, architecture design, data pre-processing, NLP integration, and iterative testing or refinement with user feedback. We use the technology and evaluation framework with Azure Machine Learning Prompt Flow and NLP tools to ensure the accuracy and the reliability. It was validated also through rigorous real-world testing. Our key benefits and outcomes from this research is to enhance the AI by combining retrieval and generation to deliver accuracy, context-aware responses, improve the user experience and trust, and mainly to mitigate hallucinations while reducing manual workload of the customers. Jumping ahead now to our concept foundation. So to begin with, we will introduce what is retrieval augmented generation. It is an AI framework for improving the quality of the LLM-generated responses, in which we ground the model on additional sources of information and knowledge to supplement its internal representation of information. It involves three basic steps. The first one is the search for relevant content in the knowledge base. The second one, it pulls the most relevant content in the model prompt as a context. And finally, it sends the combined prompt text to the model to generate the output. It significantly elevates levels of trust. For instance, it ensures that the model has access to the most current and reliable facts. It is context and business aware. The sources are known, ensuring output can be checked for accuracy. And finally, it is less likely to make up factual inaccurate responses with the ability to say, I don't know, so which mitigates hallucinations. Now, jumping ahead to our retrieval augmented generation high-level flow, in which the user asks a question, it gets sent to the search and retrieval system alongside with the documents provided by the user to extract the top results, in which we will construct our prompt with instructions, search results, and the question from the user to be fed to the LLM, and finally generate our output answer with the sources. In our retrieval augmented generation data understanding and preparation, the first phase is to ingest our data. Having set the original files to documents, we divide those documents into chunks. We afterwards transform those chunks into embeddings, and finally those embeddings get stored into a vector store or vector database as shown in the figure here. So the question here is, what is a vector database? A vector database is commonly used as the backend knowledge base storage for the RAG. It is designed to efficiently store, index, and retrieve vector embeddings with mathematical representations of data. It is very good at finding things that are similar to each other, for example, the similarity search. And we have multiple vector databases right now on the benchmark, like Milvus, Chroma, Pinecone, Face, and many more. Now, here is our final and main retrieval augmented generation high-level flow with a vector database. We have our organizational content which got embedded, and also the user question got embedded by the embedding model, which was transformed for vector embedding for semantic search and stored in the vector database. And with the top search results, we got the documents with the matching vector embeddings for semantic search to be building in the prompt with questions and document as a context. Afterwards, it got fed to the LLM and generated responses in the application with RAG to be fed to the user. After talking about our concept foundation, now we will see our solution implementation, what we have done with our services. So we used mainly Azure Machine Learning and Microsoft Azure Services, in which we stored our enterprise data in the Azure storage file. We chunked and indexed our document with the face vector database, setting the number of chunks, which is 14 documents, and the chunk size was 1024 tokens. We embedded the user query alongside with the chunk documents using the embedding model, which is text embedding EDA002. Finally, to construct our prompt with context, chat history, and chat input. Finally, we predicted our response with the GPT 3.5 turbo model, setting the temperature to 0.5 and the max token to 1000. Here is the Azure Machine Learning prompt flow graph that illustrates the high-level flow of our solution, in which we have in the first three chunks, the inputs, modify query with history, and the lookup. We took the chat input and the chat history from the inputs to modify our query with history to add the chat history content. And in the lookup phase, we initiated the text embedding ADA model to embed our content, setting up the ML index content, which is the index of our embedded documents, and having the query type as vector query type with top K or top search results is set to 2. Our generate prompt context and prompt variance chunks. We have a content of the document and its source. We ensured in the prompt variance that the model has all the necessary information for generating the response. Finally, we got the results with the chat with context and outputs with the GPT 3.5 turbo model, and we generated the responses based on the context-rich prompts. Here is an example of our prompt variance. In the system, we say that you are an AI agent tasked with helping users by responding with relevant and accurate answers based on the available context. Please display your skills by creating a thoughtful response that reflects the provided information. Unleash your creativity, add citation after each sentence when possible. So our output should be in this form, a response to our user query and a source citation, which will be illustrated here. We have our Azure Machine Learning prompt flow output. We asked the model a general question, but from our own documents, we asked him, what is LangChain? So he responded us with, LangChain is a framework designed for developing applications and so on. And finally, he provided us with the source, which is LangChain doc, and generating 4,161 tokens out of 16,384 with the time spent of generation 15.57 seconds. After going on with our implementation and our design of the architecture, we will go through evaluating. Our evaluation metrics are the system-based one, which is the F1 score. It is computed based on the tokens in the prediction answers and the ground truth in the range between 0 and 1, and the AI evaluating AI, which is scored on a scale between 1 to 5, 1 being very low and 5 being very high. So in the AI evaluating AI, we have the coherence, which measures the quality of all the sentences in a model's predicted answer and how they fit together naturally. The groundedness measures how grounded the model's predicted answers are against the context. Similarity measures similarity between user-provided ground truth answer and the model's predicted answer. Fluency measures how grammatically and linguistically correct the model's predicted answer is. And finally, relevance measures how relevant the model's predicted answer are to the question answered, the questions asked, sorry. Here we can say that in terms of AI evaluation metrics, it performed very well, but more enhancement should be done in terms of system-based metrics. We can see that the F1 score is relatively low, yielding a level of 0.6 out of 1. We need to enhance more, maybe by more fine-tuning, applying more like architectures, choosing another vector database, and we're good to go. Now, after doing this, we will conclude with our findings and future initiatives. So we developed, using business requirements and multi-format data preparation, a RAG-based chatbot with centralized data in which we consolidated sources into a unified system. We boost accessibility and consistency. We also used our main technologies, which are Azure Machine Learning and Face Vector Database, to leverage the prompt flow for query analysis and for vector lookups. So we had an AI-driven evaluation in which we assessed the performance via AI evaluating AI and system evaluation. And finally, the outcome, it enabled us a scalable AI interaction with actionable insights for optimization. In our future initiatives, we look forward to see the capabilities of this RAG architecture in other use cases, such as summarizing large documents, API search agents, whisper bots in which we have multiple problems like the large corpus of potential loss, info, and expensive process. As a solution, we leverage RAG for questioning and collecting results for summarization. The problem for the API search agent is querying and processing large corpus of YAML files to feed the LLM. Our solution is to query, process the YAML files for the Q&A using RAG. And finally, our problem in the Whisper bot is automatic RAG search from the user's historical chat conversation. Our solution is real-time processing for the user's chat history and utilizing RAG to get the relevant info for the next step. Thank you for your attention. I hope you get the best out of this presentation, and I look forward for your questions. Feel free to ask me whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. Sir and ma'am, do you have any questions?
Okay, the AI evaluating tools.
Yeah.
You were talking about coherence. Can you move back a little? Coherence.
Yeah, you mean coherence.
Yeah, coherence, groundedness, similarity. Okay. I just wanted to be sure. Fluence, okay, and relevance. So,
yeah.
But okay. On the scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 being very low and
Okay.
5 being very high. Yeah, they
Being
perform
very
very
high.
well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I can see what is happening there. So, so from the result, we see that it's okay. I've seen what I'm looking for. It's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. If you have any question, I'm
Okay.
here to respond.
Yeah, I was trying to. I do metrics too, and then I know that when we measure cohesiveness, but cohesiveness similar to coherence and so on and so forth. We don't we use a range, not a scale, not a scaling factor. The range of cohesiveness is between 0 and 1 in software engineering. So I was looking at this AI tool. If it's possible to, but I've seen what I'm looking for indeed. So you just pick the highest, and then we say that this is how coherent it is because we are looking at documents.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a small question. You said that there are some performance factors that can be improved. Can you have you done it?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. There is a little bit of lag, I think.
Yeah, and you said some of the performance metrics are not good enough, and that can be improved for better performance. So, have you thought of any idea or give it a thought that what can be done to improve it?
Yeah, you're talking about, thank you for your question. First of all, And I think you're talking about the system-based metric, which is the F1 score. Yeah, this could be enhanced via multiple strategies. Like maybe we can fine-tune our model. We can change our RAG architecture. We can add more documents, add more contexts. And finally, with some prompt tuning or prompt engineering, we could find a solution to this matter. We couldn't do this on those enhancements due to some cost managements and everything. So it is like underway right now, and we're trying to see what's best and what will be fit for our problem.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you
you
for
very much.
presentation. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Akbar Noor Aziz to present the paper titled The Family Positive Parenting Movement, the Solution to the Root of the Nation's Problem in Industrial Era 4.0 in Indonesia. Are you there?
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you. You may please begin with your presentation.
Okay, I would like to share my screen.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You may please begin
Okay.
now.
Okay, thank you. Hey everyone, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Akbar Noor Aziz. I come from Indonesia, from University Muhammadiyah of Yogyakarta. Okay, today I would like to present my title with my research with title The Family Positive Parenting Movement, the solution to the root of the nation problems in the industrial era of 4.0 in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, if we examine in the depth, the problems of the Indonesian nation in the era of Industry 4.0 are not only about technology or economy, but rather a character crisis that occurs at the various levels of a society. The rise of corruption, drugs, online gambling, online game addiction, digital gambling, promiscuous sex, rising divorce rates, and unemployment and crime are symptoms of a deeper moral crisis. The root of these problems actually lies in how individuals are formed from childhood in their family environment. Unhealthy parenting, whether in the forms of violence, inconsistency, or lack of attention from parents, causes a children to grow up with the fragile characters. They lose their moral grip, lack of self-control, and tend to take a shortcut in dealing with the problems. This research was conducted to trace the root causes of social pathologies that occur in Indonesia in the Industrial 4.0 era, focusing on the role of a family care. The objectiveness of this study are first to identify the relationship between parenting in the family and to increase the deviant behavior in society. Second is to analyze how unhealthy parenting can give a birth of a problematic individuals in social life, even into the old age. Third is offering concrete solution in the forms of positive parenting movement that can be applied nationally to improve the quality of a character of a future generation. This study used a qualitative method with a phenomenological approach. In-depth interviews were conducted with the 3 informants who are experts in the fields of parenting. The informants come from the background of academic, practitioners, and parenting psychologists who have extensive experience in dealing with the family parenting problems. This study is located in Yogyakarta, Indonesia, with informant criteria that include first is the expert who understand the nation problems from the perspective of parenting. Second, expert who understand the impact of the parenting on children in the era of a digital technology. And the last is practitioners who have been in the education and childcare for a long time from various generations. And then the result of the interview were then analyzed using a phenomenological approach to explore more deeply the meaning and impact of parenting on people's social behavior. The result of the study show the failure of family parenting in the main factors of causes various forms of a social deviation. Some important points that must be considered in this discussion are follow. First is the failed parenting. Based on the result of the interview, it was found that many individuals experience social anomalies due to unhealthy parenting since childhood. Parents who do not implement good parenting have created an unfriendly family environment, which has an impact on the psychological growth and development of the children. Somehow, some form of a social deviation that arise due to the parenting failures include first is corruptions. It means that parents often exemplify dishonesty at home, such as lying to their children or showing unethical behavior. This causes children to grow up with the value that are permissive to cheating. Second is drug and alcohol addiction. Many children experience mental distress due to harsh parenting and carelessness. As a result, they seek escape in the form of drugs or liquor. Third is addiction to online games and pornography. Parents who are busy with their own affairs tend to give excessive freedom in the use of technology without clear supervision. And last is sexual deviance and online addictions. Lack of a religious and moral education in the family causes children to have no boundaries in association and are prone to deviant behavior. The result of this study show that if parenting patterns are not improved, the next generation will be more vulnerable to various forms of social deviations that harm themselves or society. Next, based on the interview with the expert, there are several main requirements that parents or caregiver must be in the order.
Are you moving your presentation?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you see my PPT?
Yeah, we can see your PPT, but it was
Okay,
just
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
I will next my presentation. Second is building caregiver. Based on the interview with the expert, there are several main requirements that parents or caregiver must have in order to create a better generation. Namely, first is a strong in the spiritual aspect. It means that parents must instilling religious values consistently so that children have a strong moral foundation. Second is strong in the emotional aspect. It means that parents must be able to manage their emotion well in order to create a healthy relationship with their children. Next is strong in self-resilience. It means that parents who have a high mental resilience will be able to face the challenges in educating their children in the better way. And last is strong in interpersonal intelligence. It means that the parents must be built a closeness with their children so that the communication runs effectively. In addition to improving the individual's parenting patterns, this study also recommends several national programs to improve the quality of family care, such as first is National Healthy Care Movement. It is an educational campaign for the wider community to raise awareness of the importance of good parenting. Second is the establishment of parenting houses in village and cities. It is a place to learn about the parents, to gain knowledge about the better parenting. And the last is instructor and companions of family healthy homes. It is a training for individuals who will be tasked with accompanying families in implementing healthy parenting. Through this program, it is hoped that the better parenting can be widely implemented, thereby creating a generation that is more morally and socially qualified. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on the research, it can be concluded that the root of various social problems that occur in Indonesia in the era of Industry 4.0 is unhealthy parenting in families. If parenting is not positive and consistent, the children will grow up with the fragile characters, those contributing to increase in various forms of social deviation. To overcome these problems, we need to build a broader and systematic positive parenting movement. By building parenting homes, training parenting instructors, and disseminating healthy parenting campaigns, we can create a better environment for our children grow and development. If we want to build a better generation, then we must start by improving the parenting system in the family with a better nutrition. We not only form mentally and socially healthy individuals, but also build a brighter future for our nation. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Thanks for your attention. Maybe any question?
Thank you so much for your presentation. Sir and ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to see where he answered the research questions.
Yeah.
You had some research questions.
Yeah, I have some research question is to first to identify a relationship between parenting family and increased deviance behavior. So what deviance, social deviance in the digital age about is about the parenting. So what is the impact of the Industry 4.0 in Indonesia about parenting? It makes children with online gaming addiction, for example, and maybe digital gambling, or maybe about the rising of divorce rates. So it is my research question, and I think it is very important and very urgent to make a research about this.
No, I wanted to see the research questions just to see how you stated the research questions to know if there's need for the where you have it on your document.
Okay. In my PPT, I don't write the research question, but I still remember what the question about our article, sir.
Okay, so if you have research questions, if you are identifying is not really a good research question. But if you are finding the relationship between deviant behavior and children's use of or attention span on these tools, then you are measuring something. Things you can easily get out of other materials from the literature, you don't ask that as a research question. You get it? Information you can easily find out from other sources. It's not a research question because you already have them out there, you can generate them. But if you want to measure the impact, like you are saying, of deviant behavior, between deviant behavior and the tools at home, then that's a research question because you are going to be generating that from the data that will be coming from the study. So you can also check how you state your research questions. Any question that you can get the answer from anywhere should not be part of the research question.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your recommendation. Sir.
All right.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you for your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much
you.
for your presentation. I sincerely want to thank our authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope the session was informative enough for all of you. We, on the behalf of the whole team, thank you for your support during this 10th version and all the previous 9 versions of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 11th version in 2026 as well. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have already been forwarded to the printer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICICT 2025. Before ending this session, I would like to also take a moment to appreciate and thank our session chair, Professor Ezekiel Uzor Okek, for chairing this session. Sir, would you like to share a quick closing remark with us?
Yeah, I thank all the presenters. The presentations are very good presentations, and I encourage them to keep on working on their research, and the suggestions made should be incorporated in the final submissions to enhance some of the papers, but they are very good presentations. So thank you for sharing with us this informative research that you have done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for chairing this session. I would also like to take a moment to thank Professor Beaton Mishra for chairing this session. This is a token of appreciation on the behalf of whole team of ICICT 2025, Global Knowledge Research Foundations and partners. Thank you for chairing this session, ma'am. Would you like to share a quick closing remark with us?
Thank you for having me as a session chair in ICICT 2025. It was a great session. So many useful information I get, and it was a good technical session. Hope to see you all in ICICT 2026 as well. Thank you.
Thank you for your valuable presence. Now, I request all the participants and everyone to please turn on your camera for a quick snapshot. Everyone, please turn on your camera for a quick snapshot.
I think it's disabled. It's disabled by the host.
Wait, I'll turn it on if it is, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please stay safe and take care. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah. Okay.